Good evening. Welcome to the Health and Physical Education Back to School Night. We would like to take this time to explain our procedures and grading policy for this upcoming school year. First, we would like to go over our grading policy. For physical education, each marking period is broken up into 3 categories. First, participation is 65% of the student's grade for physical education. This portion of their grade is broken down into 5 criteria: attire, participation in the activity, level of involvement, following directions, and safety for self and others. The criteria that affect students' grade most often is attire. A student will lose 3 points for semi-appropriate dress for class, 5 points for inappropriate dress, and 10 points for being unprepared for class. Our dress code will be discussed later in the presentation. You may refer to the rubric for information regarding the other criteria. The participation rubric will be posted on Google Classroom for all students and parents to refer to. The second category is written assignments, tests, and quizzes, which is 25% of their grade. Each teacher will give a study guide on Google Classroom for the student to study for each test or quiz. The last category is skill assessment, which is 10% of their grade. The skill assessment could be a rubric of skill needed for the activity, rubric for gameplay, or written explanation of rules, safety, and skills needed for the game. For health and driver's education, the grading policy is different for each teacher. Each teacher will provide a syllabus on the first day of health or driver's education. Physical education and health are separate classes, so if a student fails health or physical education, it will need to be made up. Appropriate dress for physical education classes are as follows. Shorts must be long enough to fall below fingertips when arms are extended by your sides and up high enough on waist so undergarments are not exposed. For both pants and shorts, no zippers or pockets are allowed. Material should be of the athletic type, no denim or khaki. Students are not to roll waistband for either shorts or pants, and pajama pants are not acceptable. Shirts can be short-sleeved or long-sleeved. No sleeveless shirts are allowed in PE. All writing or pictures on shirts must be school-appropriate and long enough so that when arms are raised up, there should be no skin from the waist area showing. Shirts may not be tied or rolled at any time. Sneakers must be tied tightly so they do not fall off when participating in physical education. Sneakers cannot be slip-on or open-toe and/or boots. Sneakers should be an athletic type. Jewelry is not allowed in physical education class. No lip, eyebrow, or other facial piercing will be allowed. Anything around the wrist or neck, including hair ties, necklaces, and rubber bracelets, must be removed before class. If you have earrings, they cannot be hoops, they must be posts. Reminders are school clothes, team uniforms cannot be worn during physical education class. You may bring sweatpants and sweatshirts to PE, as the weather could change from day to day and these must be separate than what was worn to school. You may also bring winter hats to class, and these may be worn outside when weather permits. During the morning rotation, students should bring an extra pair of socks and older pair of sneakers due to the grass being wet. This is not mandatory, it is just suggested. For any questions, please refer to our appropriate dress for physical education sheet. Middle school students will need to bring their clothes to and from phys ed each day. They must leave their valuables in their school locker. High school students will be given a physical education locker to keep their phys ed clothes in. High school students will be given a physical education locker to keep their phys ed clothes. Even if students have a sports locker, they will still need a phys ed locker. They will also use these lockers to secure any valuables they have brought with them, unless asked to be brought to class by their teacher. Again, students must lock up valuables and cell phones before coming to phys ed. The phys ed staff is not responsible for any lost or damaged items. I will now explain our medical excuse policy for physical education class. Students must have a doctor's note for a medical excuse. Our policy does not accept parental notes. Students will have two options. Option 1, they may change for class and assist with non-physical tasks that do not interfere with their medical excuse. Some examples would be scorekeeping or timekeeping. Option 2, students do not have to change and they will be given an alternative assignment from their teacher. The information you have heard tonight can be viewed on our Google Classroom sites. Please ask your son or daughter to view these classrooms. If you have any questions or concerns, please see one of us. We thank you for your time and hope you have a good evening.